if you're here, you obviously want to see this 1904 Model 27 run a stitch. Alright guys, what you see in front of you here is a Model 27 that a friend of mine had seen at a thrift store and grabbed it and brought it to me. And it was in pretty rough condition when I got it, as in dirty and wasn't moving that well. Hand wheel was rusted out. Bob winder was really dirty. So I refurbished this machine, and when he came over, he was just amazed with how it come out. So to show respect to the machine and him bringing it to me, I appreciate him doing that. I had a treadle table that I got with my 115 from 1917. But unfortunately, the wood wasn't very good on top. So I wanted to see if I can get this going in a treadle, because this you can't hook up an electric motor to. It doesn't have the boss down here for it. So I figured, hey, let's put a treadle table on. So I made this out of a bunch of scrap steel that I had. Had an old badge that I had pulled off of 1591 that I dismantled. So I put that badge on there, welded that washer on there. And the reason why I did this is if I have other machines, I can just drop them into this table. This isn't bolted in. This just drops in. And it's heavy enough, believe it or not, that it doesn't move when I do any sewing. So I did that. And then I didn't have a leather belt. And I seen on YouTube that a gentleman had used a nylon rope and he had fused the two ends together. And I was like, I'm going to give it a try. I just put shrink wrap over where they were welded together, and this works great, and you guys are going to see that. I'm going to run a stitch with this machine and show you that this machine does work, because all my machines do. And if they don't, they will be fixed shortly. That's what I get. I get them, I fix them, I refurbish them, and then they have to be working to be on my shelves. So anyways, I'm going to talk about my table that I made here. These 4 bolts I have in the machine, on the left side, those are stationary. On the right side, these ones I do up by hand. So what I do is I back these off all the way till the nut is at the bottom, because these are longer bolts. And these are actually adjustment knobs that I made. So I welded a nut on here, and you can turn this and it pushes against the casting of the legs and raises the deck of the table. And the reason I did that is because I made this nylon rope instead of using leather. So when I make them, I make sure my deck is all the way down. I weld the belt together on the machine, and if it's a little loose, I can adjust it by turning these. So what I will do is I will turn these, then I will tighten these by hand, and then 1/2 turn till my belt has its perfect tension. And I don't have to tighten these with any other tool, because once I loosen this, now, see, that's loose. But once I tighten this up, it takes away, see, now it's not moving. Takes away that slack there. So I don't need any tools to adjust my belt, and I can raise and lower my deck. And I have one at the back and one at the front. So these two, this end of the deck can raise and lower within 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, which is plenty to take up the slack. And it's not going to affect you sewing. You're not even going to notice, trust me. I've never noticed it. Anytime I've had to give these a little bit of a turn, I've never noticed any difference with the machine or anything. So, but anyways, thought I'd talk about the tabletop I made before we show you a stitch on this machine. So just give me a second here, guys. I'm going to run the thread on the machine, get that set up. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about how to do that, so I don't need to show you that. And then we'll come back and we'll run a stitch through this 1904 Singer Model 27. Okay, got the thread done here. Got my piece of denim cut, folded in 2. And everything is all set up, ready to go. And now I don't have much thread here, so what I'm going to do is my regular sew. I'm going to try to go through 2, then 4, and then 8. So let's see what we can do here with this old treadle. You guys are witnessing me treadle here. Alright, so literally, there we go. Now I did a black thread on the top. I do have a black thread in the bobbin. So, it's good stitch there. Look at that. 100, how many years old? This is 1904, this machine. So there we go, we got that. So that'll be 3. And then 4. So there's 4 layers right there. Get that down. See, on this machine, do you see that? On my other videos I was talking about, this plate should not be this loose. This plate's worn down over the years. There's hammer marks along the front that I've taken care of. But I'm okay with that. I do small projects on this, so it's okay. Anyways, let's see. Let's see if we can do 4. There we go. And when you're doing these, in the first time I didn't release this, but you should always release that when you're pulling your project out from underneath. That's the piece that releases your thread tension. So there we go. See that there? That was 4 layers. So let's see. Fold that in half this way, and let's see if it'll do 8. Now on this machine, no joke, 8 is the maximum you can fit under this presser foot. So do I recommend it? No. So just to let you guys know, I'm just doing this to see if this machine can do it. And look at that. Boop. 8 layers. That did 8 layers. And the only reason why it can't go any thicker is because the presser foot won't go any higher. This is a low shank presser foot on these machines, so unfortunately you're locked in with what you can do. But look at that, guys. 1904. This machine was disgusting when I got it. My buddy brought it to me, but it runs real good. It's nice and clean. You can see I made a little pocket here. This is usually what I do. I'll make a little denim pocket like this. You know, not for anything in particular. I just do it to test all the stitching on it. I'll do edge stitching, multiple layers. You can see there's how many layers there? There's 8 layers right there, right? Pinched it all together nice. You know, look at that. It's a great machine. I love these vibrating shuttles, believe it or not. I always thought, well, who'd want a vibrating shuttle? No reverse on it. But there's techniques you can use for back tacking on these, or spin your project around, go the other way, spin it around again, and continue your project. That you can lock a stitch that way. Or you can another method you can do is you drop your presser foot down, you go 4 or 5 stitches, lift your presser foot up, release, bring your project back, drop it down, and then start again. So you're overlapping your stitch there. So I see that done quite often too. So anyways, there you go, guys. That's my Model 27 from 1904 treadle, and when we get that 1886 machine up and going, I'll be dropping it into this table again, because that machine also has no boss on it. So stay tuned for that video, guys, and thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe. Well, if you're still here, you must want to see a little more. Alright, how about I give you a tip? When you heard this machine running, it was pretty quiet. And one of the key factors, I think, on a vibrating shuttle is right here, there's a hole. And check and see if your machine's got a felt pad there. You want to make sure that your shuttle is getting oil. Now, you don't want to over oil this port, but if you're putting a brand new felt in here, and you don't have to order something, you can take one of these felt pads from a sewing machine spool, obviously, and then just cut yourself a piece, wrap it up, poke it in there, cut it off with an X-Acto, and if it's a new pad, give it a few drops of oil. But if you have the old one in there, make sure that it's oiled, because that really helps these machines be really quiet. My vibrating shuttles, I'm quite happy with how quiet they run, and I think that's a key factor. Not only do you have to oil everything else, I think this is a very important part to oil. So anyways, guys, that's been my Model 27 from 1904. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There we go. Get that back on there. Until next time, stay safe.